General Hospital spoilers. Tracy unleashes hell. Nina's hidden weakness exposed. Drew and Willow's world shattered in custody battle. Port Charles is about to be rocked to its core as secrets unravel, alliances crumble, and families are torn apart in the latest fiery drama on General Hospital. Tracy Courtroom steps out of the shadows with a devastating revelation that targets Nina Reeves, just as Drew Kane and Willow Corinthos are blindsided by a brutal custody battle that threatens to destroy their family forever. Get ready for betrayal, courtroom bombshells, and the unraveling of a powerful woman's empire. Tracy Courtroom is not one to strike without purpose, and this time, her target is none other than Nina Reeves. While Nina is busy trying to rebuild bridges in her personal life, Tracy has been quietly amassing ammunition. Tracy may have been absent from the front lines of Port Charles drama recently, but she's back with a vengeance and a laser-sharp focus. After overhearing a whispered conversation between Nina and a mysterious caller at the Metro Court, Tracy became suspicious. A few well-placed calls and subtle eavesdropping later, Tracy uncovered a truth that could bring Nina to her knees. Nina's business empire, Crimson, and her investments in Aurora Media are being propped up by an offshore account linked to a shell corporation controlled by a known international criminal. Tracy's eyes lit up at the possibility. Not because she cared about legality, but because this information could destroy Nina's credibility, especially with Sonny, Michael, and Drew. And Tracy knows better than anyone. In Port Charles, a well-aimed scandal can do more damage than any bullet. When Tracy plants the seeds of doubt by leaking hints to Sonny, it doesn't take long for the mobster to confront his wife. Nina, caught off guard, tries to spin the situation, but Sonny, already emotionally distant due to her past betrayal with the SEC, isn't buying it. "You told me everything was out in the open, Nina. That we were past this." Sonny barks, anger laced with hurt. Nina tries to explain. The investment was a desperate move to keep Crimson afloat when she thought she might lose everything after Carly and Drew's legal nightmare. But her excuse only makes Sonny more suspicious. "If you can lie to me about this, what else are you hiding?" Tracy's plan is working perfectly. Nina is spiraling, Sonny is growing colder, and the sharks in Port Charles are circling. While Tracy turns Nina's world into a battlefield, Drew and Willow find themselves in their own war zone, family court. The happy little family they've tried to create with Wiley and Amelia is about to be ripped apart. Everything begins when a new social worker, assigned after Willow's cancer treatment, starts raising questions. Why isn't Wiley spending more time with his biological grandmother Nina? Why is Drew acting as a father figure when legally he's not Wiley's dad? And why does Willow avoid any acknowledgement of Wiley's past trauma? It gets worse when Harmony's old records mysteriously resurface. Courtesy of an anonymous source, hint, it's connected to Tracy's quiet manipulations. The records indicate Willow may have suffered prolonged psychological stress during her upbringing, and while she's made incredible progress, the court questions whether she's stable enough, especially after the emotional toll of the SEC scandal, Nina's betrayal, and her own near-death experience. Then comes the dagger. A petition is filed by Michael Corinthos, not to take Wiley away, but to remove Drew as a legal guardian and reopen custody discussions for both children. Drew is floored. Willow is devastated. Willow begs Michael to withdraw the petition, accusing him of betrayal. But Michael, cold and methodical, insists it's not personal, it's about protecting the children. "You're too close to the situation to see what's best for them," he says. Drew lashes out. "You're tearing this family apart for control, Michael. That's what this is really about." Behind the scenes, it's clear Michael is being heavily influenced by Ned/Eddie Main, who has begun siding with Tracy again, especially after learning about Nina's offshore dealings. Michael sees Drew's leadership at Aurora as compromised, especially with potential fallout from Nina's financial secrets. So, in his mind, pushing Drew out protects the company and the family. But the emotional damage is severe. Willow shuts down emotionally. Drew becomes increasingly aggressive. And the children, caught in the middle, are confused and hurt. Just as Nina tries to recover from Sonny's confrontation, she gets a knock at the door. "Tracy." "I thought we should talk." Tracy begins smoothly, stepping into Nina's penthouse like she owns it. You've been careless, Nina. Emotionally, financially, and politically. Nina tries to put on a brave face, but Tracy lays out her full hand. The offshore account, the connection to an international financier under SEC scrutiny, and her knowledge that Nina forged documents related to Crimson's quarterly reports. Documents she never thought would surface. But Tracy doesn't want money. Or an apology. I want leverage. You will resign from Crimson. You will relinquish all editorial power. And you will not fight Drew or Michael if they push you out of Aurora. Nina stares in horror. You're blackmailing me. Oh, honey, Tracy purrs. I'm courting you. With that, Tracy walks out, leaving Nina breathless, panicked, and on the verge of a complete collapse. The court hearing is brutal. The judge, while acknowledging Willow's growth and Drew's stability, rules in favor of a temporary custody shift, placing Wiley under Michael's full guardianship and removing Drew from any parental role. Amelia will remain with Willow for now, but under supervision from the court. It's a shattering blow. Willow sobs as Michael carries Wiley out of the courtroom. Drew sits frozen. Carly tries to comfort him, but Drew brushes her off. I failed them. I failed all of us. This loss drives a wedge between Drew and Willow. Grief, guilt, and anger consume their relationship. Willow begins to withdraw from everyone, including Carly and Sasha. And Drew, filled with unresolved rage, starts pushing boundaries, making dangerous decisions that could put him back on a collision course with Sunny. Stripped of her magazine, her husband's trust, and her standing in Aurora, Nina finally cracks. In a desperate move, she approaches Valentine, offering him classified financial documents from Aurora in exchange for protection. Valentine, wary but intrigued, agrees to look at the files. But what Nina doesn't know is that Tracy is still watching, and so is Anna. Nina is now under investigation, not just by the SEC, but possibly by the WSB, for unknowingly funneling money through a criminal entity. Her world is falling apart fast, and Tracy is ready to go in for the final blow. Seeing Drew spiral and Willow break, Carly takes matters into her own hands. She goes straight to Sunny, not as his ex, but as the mother of his children. You and I both know this isn't right, she says. Michael's playing power games, and Tracy is behind all of it. Sunny is conflicted. He no longer trusts Nina, and he's furious with Drew. But Carly's words get through. If you don't step in now, Sunny, you're going to lose your entire family. And there won't be anything left to save. Sunny agrees to help, but he warns Carly. This is going to cost us all. In a shocking cliffhanger, Nina is arrested at the Metro Court in front of dozens of witnesses. Sunny arrives just in time to see her handcuffed and humiliated. You set me up, Nina screams, glaring at Tracy, who watches from the bar with a cold smile. But the true tragedy comes later that night, when Willow collapses in her bedroom, clutching a photo of Wiley and crying out for her mother. Paramedics rush her to G8. Her cancer is in remission, but her heart may not survive the emotional devastation. And Tracy? She raises a glass of champagne at the Courtroom estate. To family, but the celebration is short-lived. In a dark alleyway, a shadowy figure hands a folder to Valentine. Nina's not the only one with secrets, the figure says. You might want to look at Drew's sealed Navy files and what he really did before Port Charles. Tracy may have won the battle, but the war is just beginning.